e-commerce companies scale really well, but the logistics or the fulfillment part doesn't. In other words, like retailers traditionally want to curate, they want to find nice products, they want to sell products. What they don't want to do is they don't want to actually pack boxes. Once you've got the order, it's like the euphoria and everything that you get from that sort of falls away as you actually need to now start packing boxes and getting things going. And what's interesting is that the traditional supply chain around e-commerce is or fulfillment is not really focused on SMEs. It's focused on these big companies doing pallets of goods around the country. And so you have to kind of work out how to do this yourself, which is interesting. And whether you're a mass mart who we do work with, or whether you're a small sort of individual selling homemade products, logistics is constantly the largest issue for distributors and retailers. That's the main story there. So I'm going to try and be quite quick here. I want to finish it in like 8 minutes. But basically, most people should understand this logistics process. You receive products and you store them in your garage, in your house, in your warehouse, in your bedroom. You receive an order. You take that order slip or picking slip, as they call it. You go find the products you want. You put it into a box. You give it to the courier. You deliver it. You then have some sort of reporting to tell you what's happening with your order. And then you have to deal with the sort of returns process. And this is what we define as sort of the logistics process. At the same time, we run a sort of warehouse business. And this gives you some idea of the warehouse that we run. This is a quarter of our warehouse. And as you can see, there's all sorts of interesting products being sold there. And a lot of shoe boxes on the top, which is interesting. And at the same time, what we do is we do like customized box distribution. So this is what the original Superblis boxes look like, just so you know, to give you some sort of idea of what we're doing. Right. What's important in this whole process at the same time is reporting on your key performance areas to tell you what's happening with all your deliveries, that you know what's happening. I'm going to take you through this, but this is something quite unique that most people don't look at. And I just want to make you aware that it's something important for you to have a look at, is to understand what's happening with all your deliveries. So it's one thing to give your deliveries to the courier, another thing for you to actually know what's happening with them. And let's start with the sort of, at the same time, we compound that with a bit of a Black Friday, and you get ready for what's happening. So let me start with my views on what's happening. Firstly, Black Friday in 2020 is probably going to be the easiest Black Friday anyone's ever had to deal with. And the primary reason for that is that Black Friday has traditionally been a single Friday, followed by a weekend, followed by a Cyber Monday. What we're seeing at the moment is that due to sort of demands being placed from a fulfillment perspective, almost all these retailers have given up running Black Friday on a single day. And they've given that up, as I mentioned, because they can't actually deliver the products to the people on a single day. How do you do 10 times the number of deliveries on a single day and get that to your customers? Well, with incredible difficulty. And for that reason, you can have a look at Blue Dot Sale is now 2nd to 22nd November. Game is running week 1, week 2, 3, week 4 from the 2nd of November to the 29th of November. Macro is running from the 2nd to 29th of November. Everyone wants to run over a month because they don't want to have all the hassles of dealing with it in one day. We've been working with the Mass Mart guys, the Superblis guys, and a number of other retailers for years. And every single Black Friday was hell. It was difficult because they had problems with their website, they had problems with their marketing, people coming to the site, the order volumes, the stock levels, and it's much easier to smooth it over a number of days. And I think that's something that we've been made aware of. And what you've got to remember, though, is that by the time it gets to Black Friday, you need to make sure that everyone knows about what promotions you're running or what products they're going to get from you, because you only get one chance to do it right, because these other large organizations have been taking money out of people's pockets for the whole month. And so you need to make sure that you execute correctly. So let's go. First thing, you need to make sure, secure your stock. We've heard with COVID, we've heard from suppliers, we've heard from numerous people that the biggest challenge is that you sit to something like this, an empty warehouse. We work with a number of big retailers, and their biggest challenge is in making sure that they actually have enough stock for Black Friday. So if you haven't secured your stock or put in your orders or got your things ready, it's something very important to make sure you do, because if you don't do it now, you probably won't get televisions, imported products, all those sort of things. Very difficult to get hold of because there's challenges at Durban port, there's challenges with imports, there's challenges with products out of China and COVID. So for a change, there's all the supply chain issues from international perspective, which we haven't really had in South Africa. But the point is that getting stock close to time, I think, is going to be increasingly difficult. So you need to make sure that you have got that locked in. First thing. Next thing is you need to start having conversations with your couriers and chatting to the couriers and understanding what they can or can't do telling them what you're going to be giving them, and managing that entire process. You can see how this little picture of a little box tattered with tape run around it. That's typical of what happens in South Africa courier industry over this period. You need to interact with your sort of couriers, tell them what you're planning on doing, and help them prepare. It's not fair for you to suddenly dump orders on your courier and think they're going to deliver on time when you haven't given them any forewarning. And every single year we find that is a challenge, is that the sort of customers don't tell their couriers what they're going to be doing. And so the couriers can't really prepare. And then you can't expect them to deliver on time if you're not helping them. So it's a partnership. Next thing, prepare your staff. We always do this on Black Friday. We start early at 6 o'clock. We finish late at 7 o'clock at night. We work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we prepare our staff. And our staff all knows that this is the game time. This is the time of year we need to just work a little bit harder, put in a bit of effort, and we get through this period. So we do things as we buy our staff supper or lunch, or we get them Red Bull, or we get them like other ways. But we basically have prepared our staff for the last month and a half, knowing that they are going to be working a little bit harder over Black Friday, but it's a key time for us. As from an e-commerce perspective, we find that almost every single e-commerce site makes their money over this November period, and the rest of the year is marginal. So it's key for our staff to know what's happening, be prepared for it, be prepared that there's going to be influx in orders, influx in queries, and we just need to prepare them for it because it's going to be quite a challenging time. Next thing, very practical, enough packaging material. We've seen it time and time again where there's a lot of orders coming through. People turn around and they actually don't have enough boxes or packaging material or fly bags to actually put their products into. Key thing. At the same time, when you want to get product, you're going to go down to the box shop, but they won't have because everyone else has had the same problem. So if you're planning on selling a lot, just make sure that you have enough stock. And it's packaging material, it's flyers, it's labels from your couriers, it's thermals from your courier, it's barcodes, it's all the things that you use on a daily basis. Make sure that you've got enough of that. We've run out of material many years ago. Make sure that every single year from now on, we overstock in boxes and products and just get that sort of stuff right. So I'm just trying to give you some like very basic, just like 5 tips on what's happening from like a supply chain perspective to make sure that what you have. And this for us is just something that's like ultra practical because you see mistakes in this happen all the time. Next thing, and actually like, I'm going to keep it very brief because as I said, I've got like another minute left. Follow up with your orders. So once you send your orders out with your customers, with your various couriers, make sure that you track and see what's happening with your orders. For you to know that there's a problem with a delivery or an order that's slow or a problem where you've given it to the courier and there's no tracking, for you to be proactive, identify these issues, know that they're happening, contact your customers and sort of alert them to the problems ahead of time is hugely valuable. There's nothing more frustrating than customers phoning you, asking you what's happening with the order, and you not even knowing that it's slow or a late delivery. You must make sure that you're following up on your deliveries every single day to see what's happening with them, with all the couriers, and making sure that you're tracking everything and get it done. This is like the single biggest thing that we see, and this is something that we proactively manage from like a Parcelninja perspective, is to follow up with all the couriers to hear what's happening and build up these sort of trends to see if there's any issues. So you can see in this graph towards the bottom right here, there's 123 have no tracking. That's just indicative. You can see that suddenly there's a problem that happened on the one day and a lot of orders aren't tracking. We need to follow up with that. These sort of performance metrics from a supply chain perspective are key to sort of identifying the problems with your customers. So I think like from my side of things, it's just 5 very simple, quick tips from a supply chain perspective, what I think you need to be ready with. And this comes from like us doing this for 10 years, seeing Black Friday evolve. And these are the 5 biggest things that we sort of manage with the guys. Same time, one last thing is we do is this sort of communicate proactively with our customers. So whenever there's something that's happening in our supply chain, we let our customers know. Oh, look, the product's been collected from the couriers. We attempted delivery, it was failed. It's out for delivery, it's delivered. There's a shipping created. All of this are emails that we send to our clients, letting them, or our customers, letting them know that some event has happened so that they don't have to query us. The more you tell people what's happening with your order, the less they contact you. So what we try to do is reduce the number of queries coming through to our contact center or sort of support desk. And we do that through proactively just messaging the people, telling them what's happening and communicating with our customers. And basically, those are the 6 things that we think are important.